Hello, this is the Rather Righteous Records podcast. My name is Joey, and I'm here with my my pet, Joseph.
Pet?
And
save that for later, dude.
We have a fun album today. It's by a band called the Dillinger Escape Plan. The album's called Option Paralysis. So the band originally started under the name Arcane, and a man named...
So the name's Arcane?
Oh, man.
I hadn't said anything yet. I wanted to contribute.
You did a great job.
Thanks. Oh yeah, we don't have a guest today.
Yeah, no guest. No guest.
It's been 7 months since we did it.
We don't have any friends.
We lost them.
They listened to the others and realized we're a bunch of retards. So, here we are. Ben Weineman, he is a guitar player and the only original member of the band. The band doesn't exist anymore. They ended in 2016.
RIP.
They started in 1997, so almost 20 years.
I didn't know that he was the only member that stayed the entire time.
Yeah, I don't know. The name came from, they had a friend who basically came up with it after watching a documentary about John Dillinger, who is a bank robber who escaped prison multiple times, and he's very successful at it. He's an example of what you want to be if you are a criminal.
Did you know that Ozzy started as a thief, by the way?
I'm not shocked.
I was listening to Henry Rollins talk about that, and apparently Ozzy was like, I was a thief, man. I was a crap thief. I kept getting caught. I can't do the Ozzy voice, but
it's very hard to do. But yeah, so...
Sharon!
Another member worth mentioning would be Greg Puciato. He joined in 2001 when their original singer left. I don't remember why.
And wasn't the dude from Faith No More in there for a bit, too?
That might have been their original singer.
Oh,
or a temporary replacement. I actually missed that detail.
But he's super good.
He's cool, man. The Faith No More's crazy. Dude.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want you to get to the antics, man. Like the stage antics of this.
Oh, yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know about Dillinger.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
That'll be here.
I gotta be patient.
We are up here.
I'm sorry. You came in with a run sheet and I'm just interrupting you.
Okay, so another interesting thing that they did is whenever Puciato joined, they did record 2 Black Flag covers of Damaged 1 and 2. We have not yet listened to them, but it will definitely happen.
Is it out there?
We're gonna find it.
Sick.
And yeah, we'll put in like a link to that or something if we do find it.
Black Flag fans, in case nobody knew that.
Yeah. He had romantic relations with Henry Rollins.
We took a picture together at a show.
So yeah, the band recorded 3 albums
A romantic show.
under record label Relapse Records. Well, they became very dissatisfied with the current state of the music genre and
I think you mean
industry, whatever, everything. They just weren't happy with business, which I don't blame them. Business is kind of stupid. So they left their record label and started their own called Party Smasher Incorporated in 2009. And that is where this album came to play right after that.
And that was the first record on there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I've read a little bit about this because we talked about doing this album for since we started this podcast, and apparently Ben, how do you pronounce it, Wyman?
Yeah, something like that.
He said in an interview, we don't know how to actually run a label. This is just an excuse for the umbrella of things that I do or that Dillinger people do. And I was like, oh, sounds a lot like what a study kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, we have the same philosophy, man.
Hashtag relatable.
Yeah. But now on to the music. Organized chaos seems to be the most common word thrown around with them. According to the members of the band, everything is very deliberate. Even though there's a lot of notes, insanity, and time changes, it's very musical and detailed.
It's definitely cathartic, and my brother Caleb, who has some music on the label, and he'll probably be on this eventually. He listens to some heavy stuff. I don't like heaviness in the same way that Joey or him do, but I think the penultimate album that these guys did, the album after this, One of Us is the Killer. Is that the next one?
Yes.
So yeah, that's the only album that I've ever had by them, but even not listening to very much proper metal or anything like that, that album has so much depth and form that I like.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, they're different.
Well, I will say, like, vocal-wise, this isn't typical. It's not just some guy screaming. He's...
His voice.
His voice is insane, dude. He can do some really powerful notes, and he can actually sing.
It's a wonder he still can after listening to it. But, I mean, I've only heard that one record. And then the single off of this one.
Yeah, okay.
Farewell, Mona Lisa.
Yeah, it's the first song. And, yeah, man, so we're gonna go listen to this. I've heard it a shit ton. Joseph doesn't really know it.
Like I said, I know that one first tune, but now that I think about it, I don't think I've heard that one in a long time either.
It's probably hard to remember if you've only heard it once, cause...
No, for a little bit I was, because it doesn't matter. So yeah, we're gonna listen to it. Oh wait, Stage Antics. They're nuts.
Yeah.
They would like cut themselves up. I saw once that apparently Greg Puciato, the singer, like pooped in his hand at a festival and like threw it at everybody. And I mean, we watched that one performance they did for what, the Golden God Awards or something?
Oh yeah.
Where he just ripped his face down the middle and blew from a flamethrower and pushed the drums over while the drummer's still going.
I've heard stories of them like putting daggers at the ends of their guitars.
Oh yeah.
Jumping into the pit, and seeing what happens.
Shooting off fireworks, and that makes them sound super edgelordy, which I mean they probably are and or were.
But even then, not many bands these days do that kind of shit. Actually, not many bands ever in the history of bands probably ever did that.
And
so
I think that's probably good. I mean, I don't even like moshing. Is it coming from that classical background? But even whenever we played in a death metal band, I would just watch people, and I mean, Kaylin makes fun of me for that, just like sitting there with my hand on my chin, just nodding.
Oh yeah, man. Alright.
Yeah.
Going to listen to this shit.
That was a way shorter intro than the other ones. I guess it kind of helps not having Trent here. You can't smoke in here, dude.
I like smoking with cigarettes.
It's fun to do bad.
Yeah, man. It's fun to do bad things.
That was nuts. Dude,
yeah, so yeah, we just listened to it. Like, it just finished probably, like, not even a minute ago.
Yeah.
So we're still in shock. I don't know, I've heard it a lot, but sitting down and listening to it in an enclosed room is much different than listening to it at the gym. So
yeah, that's definitely an album that, I mean, that's the whole point of doing something like this, giving yourself that forced sit down, let this thing be what you're doing for 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
It's very deeply emotional, and again, I don't think that somebody hears about a band like that, it's like, oh, they cut themselves up on stage and run around. You don't give them credit for their actual ability, but there's so much skill and hard work that goes into making something like this. The production is crazy.
I think it's awesome, dude. Yeah, it's all sounds really real.
Yeah.
You can hear the room.
And it's mentioned in here that Ben Weinman, he considers himself to have contributed sound design to it, which you can hear like a lot in the first and last tracks.
Oh
the glasses and the people talking and oh man, there's so much that I want to.
You can hear like them unplugging the guitars and shit. And,
like feedback.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's so much to like
jump out
with this.
Let's continue with the sounds that we heard.
I
heard a lot of harmonizing, like sound effects that harmonize with the vocals.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of them were vocals because the way that they layer his vocals are really interesting too. There's always the very clear lead line, but they also have a lot of really quiet.
It sounds like there was a lot of tracking done.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was not one single vocal track ever in this thing.
And I've never heard him do falsetto that I can remember, but in that last song, he starts to it sounds like his voice cracks, and so he just has to keep going in falsetto. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but it was really effective.
Yeah, he has so it's really good as far as being in tune and clear and sounds good, but it still just sounds like he's like struggling almost. But like for an emotional effect, not like he sucks.
Yeah, it's
an effect.
So if you I don't know how people would ever listen. I don't know if people, whenever they listen to this, if they like actually stop when we do and listen to the album, or if they just listen to the whole thing, or if they listen to it at all. So if you haven't listened to it yet, we're talking about pretty much the end of the album, the tune Parasitic Twins. It's like the end of that track, which is the last track on the record, where you like it was like.
Yeah, it's different, man.
Man, and it also sounded like on that track. At first, I thought it was supposed to represent thunderclouds, and I don't know if that's what it was, or what it also. You know, like. It sounded like it could have been like a floor tom that was like clipped out of its mind. I don't know.
I have no clue.
But you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they did, dude. This is all.
Yeah. Any audio production fans out there, if you listen to Parasitic Twins, that there's like this obligato pattern that goes on like really quietly in the background. So my guess is that it's some super clipped tom, like a floor tom. If you want to argue with me about it, put it in the comments or something. Yeah, but oh man, that was going just off of this first listen. I do like this better than the other album that I've heard by them all the way through. I like this genuinely better than One of Us is the Killer. Not that there's anything wrong with that one, but just so much was done in this one.
Yeah.
Like in
you can tell with every part it was deliberate.
Yeah.
Like even in the drums, you know, it doesn't sound like he's just randomly hitting shit in time.
Oh
like,
man, those drums.
I think those parts were mapped out like hit by hit.
Yeah, seeing sheet music for this would be crazy.
Yeah, even the guitar, and a lot of it just sounds like he's sporadically hitting shit, but it's actually consistent. It just makes sense. I don't know. It's weird, man.
Yeah, they have a very noticeable. It's not a verse chorus kind of structure, but hearing this again, I'm just going completely off of these two albums and like how it functioned with this. So somebody's gonna please argue with me, like you haven't heard all 6 or the EPs, you don't know, but.
No, I've heard all their albums, and this one's definitely a standout, I would say.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But there's a pattern where they take small sections and then they repeat them. And with the vocal line, he doesn't repeat the same thing all the time, but there are parts where that same vocal line is put over other sections, and they have things that repeat similarly to other parts.
I hear a structure in it. And honestly, I feel like on this album, they may have used the same formula for a lot of the songs.
In these formulas that you're talking about sound similar to One of Us is the Killer in a lot of them. Obviously, not all of them. Yeah. Like I really want. I don't know how to go through all of this, but Gold Teeth on a Bum. I think that might be my favorite track.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites, dude.
It's
the high notes in there.
Yeah, the third track on the record. So, I've seen live videos of them, and I've heard a few other singles, but again, I'm going mostly off these two albums. That's the highest note that I've ever heard him sing. It's a D5, which is somewhat common for tenors in this scene of music, but I've never heard him sing that in anything else.
For his kind of voice, it's shocking.
Yeah, no, and you can feel it too. It's really
about that, dude. The dynamics in this whole album, like I would say, like
it's weird to call music like this dynamic.
Something I don't know if it was just because we were sitting here listening to it or if it was legit, but I feel like each song had different dynamic contrast. You know, like Widower in the 6th track.
Yeah,
that one I felt it had the loudest peak throughout the whole album.
Oh, that song, man, that was the one with the piano and a bunch of...
Yeah, piano intro, real soft. And
that's something else that I thought was really cool. You know what you're expecting whenever you pop this in if you didn't just buy it off of a shelf because you thought the cover looked cool, which is easy to do too. But, so yeah, I know that they have random soft bits. They have some random thing like that in most of their songs, but this song starts soft, and then it stays as a ballad. It doesn't just break off a minute in.
It's really catchy and kind of poppy. In a way.
It almost... That's what I was thinking until the like 4-minute mark whenever it goes to... It genuinely sounds like something that could almost be on the radio if like it got in the hands of... I don't know.
They did a radio edit.
A more cut and dry producer, It's not for the radio, but it's melodic and...
It's really catchy. Like you can actually just memorize the words and sing along to it pretty easily.
Yeah. And props to that pianist too.
I don't know who did that, man.
It says I don't know anything about the dude, but
so it's not a member of the band.
No, his name is Mike Garson. At first I thought one of the members could know piano enough, but then some of those licks came in. I was like, oof.
Yeah, this guy sounds like a pro.
Maybe still.
I mean,
but
some guys can do that still, but I don't know.
I mean, this whole band, those guys are on top of their stuff. Liam Wilson, I think that's the same bassist in the other one.
So, yeah, he's been in there since, I want to say their second album.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I might be wrong, but I'm probably wrong, actually. But
is there anything else in particular that you want to say? I'm not saying.
Well, you were reading the lyrics the whole time. What?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I know what I know, but
yeah, it's that's something else that I thought was interesting. His lyrics remind me of kind of like poetry sometimes, and I know that's a dumb thing to say. I need to clarify better, but I'm still kind of just in shock. It actually kind of reminds me of the way that Zoe writes her poetry, where it feels like some lines are just kind of like, this is a line that you tacked on a wall, and you're like, this sounds powerful. It's something that you would just say to somebody, and they'd be like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And so then especially whenever you're in a band like this, it's like there's so many places where that's going to be appropriate, and so you can see how they all connect, or not how songs connect, but then every once in a while just a line busts out.
I feel like a lot of it, dude, is about a breakup or something.
It seems,
along those lines.
especially Widower and the songs thereafter.
Yeah.
In an interview that I saw in the minimal research that I did before we jumped in here, Ben, Mr. Weinman, the fantastic guitarist as it is, which we need to get to as well, he said that it's called option paralysis because we have so many ways to engorge ourselves with entertainment now.
Yeah.
You know, phones, video game systems, etc., podcasts about listening to music. You know, it leaves you with option paralysis, and I can say very wholeheartedly that I'm a victim of that. I'm sure that you've.
Yeah, but I think everyone is now.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
Unless you're one of those people that is somehow abstaining from society and technology, then you've experienced this before.
Then who are you?
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been trying to do that more because I've realized the adverse effects that it's had on me. And I think I've told you a little bit about this, but
bad on everyone, man.
Yeah, I didn't write much over the last year, and I think that partially has to do with like how much YouTube I watch.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get sucked into anything, and it's free, and everybody uploads like 50,000 videos a day. I don't actually know.
Oh, it's like everyone's ADD from it now.
Yeah, so
that's why it's cool that like we're actually sitting down listening to music.
Exactly, I find this very beneficial for me, and if anybody at home feels like they have better things to do, then this would be a good time to shut it off and get some analog playback with your record player or whatever. But
we'll pretend that's how we listen to this.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't listen to Dillinger on vinyl, although I bought the vinyl for One of Us Is the Killer. But I should go back and get CDs, because, I mean, this music is so just hot. You know, the production is wild. But the lyrics, so some of it definitely comes off that way, and to plug back into the whole, like, tacked on the wall kind of singular line thing and all of this, one of the lines in, I think the second track is suicide by way of information.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, where it's very clear what he's talking about. And I also find a lot of his music to be very accusatory. A lot of modern music is written from the point of view of, or is written from first person. Most music that you listen to on the radio is like, I did this and you did that. I am that and blah blah blah. And traditional music in a lot of circumstances is just talking about some person doing something. So more of the third person. And I find it interesting that so much of his music is written second person. He still does a lot of I was this, but it's very largely you did this, you hey there, you fucking bum. You know, it's.
I get what you're saying. No, he's not. He isn't talking about his feelings for about half of this. It's more.
It's still his feelings, but it's so much more you did this than most music that I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's not as whiny as you would think.
Yeah, I'd like to see how many times the word "you" is written in his music compared to the average of other.
Oh yeah, there's like
artists.
a line like you are the scum of the earth.
You were a face in the crowd. I threw myself onto you. I tried to take you away. You know.
Yeah.
That's Widower, by the way.
Yeah.
The first one. You probably knew that. You didn't know that. He said, pointing to the microphone as if the audience could respond. Anyway, so there's definitely a lot that sounds accusatory, as in you are destroying yourself by doing the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of his music anyway, or a lot of his lyrics.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, yes, a lot of it feels like it's about some sort of breakup. I mean, Widower is kind of a strong title in and of itself for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also just hard to tell based on a first listen, first reading. And I'm not the greatest literary critic anyway. I find it fascinating, but I mean, it's very word collagey.
There's a lot of depth to the lyrics, I'd say.
Yes, definitely. I think Roomful of Eyes. That's track 7, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's 6 or 7. Let's not count. Numbers are dumb. I think that has something to do with trying to avoid public attention.
Yeah.
Which you could take for him personally or anybody, because even like people we barely know can find out so much information about us because we just put it out there, and then they can find other things that we don't want them to find out from that. So I think that one has stuff to do with that. Like, this is none of your business. There is nowhere to hide in a room so full of eyes. Until we die, we're never satisfied. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very potent lines. So yeah, I really respect his artistic vision as a singer and as a lyricist. And I guess now, which we should mention, as a poet, because he has a book coming out in March, I believe. Yeah, it was written on their last tour, because their last album was decidedly their last album before the tour, and that was a big emotional experience for all of them, probably.
Yeah, no, I imagine that probably sucked.
There's a very interesting interview where he talks about that book, so if you look up his name, Greg Puciato book, it'll probably come up. I bet it'll be out before this is published. I think it's March, but
yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up. It's gonna be super.
Yeah,
cool.
That sounds cool, man.
So yes, lyrics, good. I like the lyrics.
Yeah.
From what I can understand, and even though I can't understand a lot of it, it says more than it needs to, even if you don't understand a damn word of it.
Yeah, even I'd say like the way with his vocal parts. I mean, I feel like the stuff he had to actually say, the point he was trying to get across, was pretty much covered in his singing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then the stuff he was screaming was just his actual anger regarding the situation.
I like it so much whenever he sings, and since I'm not a big metal dude anyway, it's really nice to hear him actually go after it.
His screams are very, I don't know, they're powerful, I would say.
Okay, well, I guess this is a question that I hate these kinds of questions, but I want to ask your opinion because I saw it in a review where somebody was like, the hardcore people and the technical metal people, it's hard to mix the two, but this band does the thing. So, somebody said that these guys are in between hardcore and technical metal. The iTunes thing called the CD punk when you popped it in. I hate all of that descriptor attempt to say something.
Yeah, that sounds a lot, dude.
What do you think? Because I know that you use more of those adjectives than I do, and I know you know how much I hate them.
I don't know, man.
You don't have to agree or disagree with
me. Dude,
yeah,
I've gotten to that point really where everything's like, I'll separate metal and rock. I think it's wrong to put those two together, but I think it falls under metal.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just metal in general. We don't need to get technical, and that shit's kind of stupid anyway.
That's so gratifying.
Yeah.
Like the AC. It's fine. I don't care. But
you know, I'll admit though, about the rap genre, they don't really have much subgenres in it. In comparison to like metal and EDM.
Oh yeah,
for what it is and how many different types of styles, and yeah, I'm sure there is like a book of them, but it's not relevant enough.
Mumble rap or whatever, all the different. I don't know about it either.
Yeah.
So sick. Yeah, because I mean, people still dog on me about that, and I'm sure that whenever we have other people back on, we're gonna get into that discussion.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, dude. That's a battle some people can find, but
it's heavy. We can say that it's heavy.
Yeah.
So what, dude? The guitar playing. Any guitar player is going to be interested in this record because he is super crazy and a lot of.
It's fast, man. Well, even the recording and production, dude. His tones are real.
Yeah, super clean.
It's just really clean. I mean, you can hear every detail of him playing.
Yeah, I'd recommend any guitarist look more into him. He has a signature that's really astonishing. It is a super expensive bridge. I think he helped make the Evertune bridge too. Wasn't it partially his design?
I honestly have no clue on that, but I should.
Okay. I think so. And
I can look it up.
To the internet. And there's so many super fast passages in this record, but they're not really prominent ever. He doesn't.
No, I would say, dude, there was only one guitar solo in this, and it was just a quiet outro.
He doesn't show off his. I mean, he still shows off his chops. I don't think he couldn't, but it's not.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, you can hear how clean it is, because I mean, for how fast this music is, like I've listened to a shit ton of like death metal that's just as fast, if not faster. But you can't really understand the guitar parts. You just kind of hear the fuzz, and the kick drum and bass are what's really giving the definition. But with this, everything had its own definition.
And also, most of those kick drums aren't even real.
Well, you can go old school death metal where it just kind of sounded like shit. Not everyone, but a lot of the bands did.
What were you looking up again?
We're looking up if Ben Weinman created
Evertune
has everything. What did you think of the bass? I heard it some. It wasn't.
It's not important.
It just it really was. I mean, it was there. It had its purpose.
It's clean. It does what it needs to do. And there's like one point where it's just drums, bass, and vocals, so the guitar completely drops out, and that's effective. And the bass tone is fantastic. It sounds nice and heavy, but not so distorted that you can't understand it. But there's not really much to say about it, I don't feel. Which, as a bassist, isn't sad either. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's laying it down.
So he has a signature ESP guitar with the Evertune.
It's so handsome.
It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't say, but he does have a rig rundown where he talks about it. Oh wait. Nope. That doesn't necessarily.
I don't think he had anything to do with it.
But he's definitely a strong advocate for it.
He uses it. I can't believe that. Everyone should use them, man. They're badass.
Yeah, any heavy guitar players out there, if you can afford a super expensive Evertune bridge, I mean, if you're running around like he does, it's super helpful.
Dude, like, one thing interesting, man, they're playing like standard tuning or drop D.
Right,
one of the two.
Both.
I think they switch around.
I think this entire album was standard though, which
it
reminds me of what, to quote my brother, to quote the singer of Opeth. Yeah, apparently he once said, "Is your riff heavy, or are you just playing in a low tuning?" Which yike. But doesn't Queens of the Stone Age sometimes play in C standard or something?
I had a lot of bands drop, dude. Deftones, they use H strings.
So this really proves that you don't need to be in a low tuning to be heavy if you don't want to. It's just a matter of what you want to do. And in terms of their entire character, I think that I could consider them one of the heaviest bands out there. Not in terms of like how loud can you whack at it, but
not like bass rumble, but they have an impact.
Yeah, their character makes them heavier to me, or maybe I just like them better, so I'm willing to give them more accreditation. Maybe.
I would say, I would think of it as like really loud punk. loud screaming punk.
Yeah, that's fair.
The same feeling of that, but with metal tones, like the drums kind of make it real metal style.
The production style definitely does not have what most people would equate to punk. It sounds really clean.
Yeah.
What about the earlier stuff?
I would say they were more punk, from what I remember.
As they got further in, they got more clean?
Yeah, well, no, the thing is he sang a lot in the older stuff, though.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they always had clean singing.
Oh, that's crazy.
I don't know about the first album, but...
I need to listen to more of...
There's Miss Machine and Ironworks, I know those really well.
Right.
And there was clean singing on both of them.
Oh, cool.
One of the songs on...
So, Joey left the ESP site open on his page, and it said he's a founding member of the Dillinger Escape Plan, but this website calls the Math Corps. Oh, it hurts. I'm so upset now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that...
I mean, I guess that would be the more official
No,
thing,
don't. That's not a thing.
Yeah, it's still kind of ridiculous.
A waste of space.
Yeah.
They play in time signatures that change. That's not math. Everything's math. Nothing's math. It makes...
Yeah,
okay.
all music's math.
Okay. What were you going to say? I interrupted you.
I do not remember.
No. Oh, well. I mean, I feel like... I can't think of any criticism against it. I can't think of anything critical to say beyond that. I guess...
I mean...
It's just righteous.
Yeah, it's good. I feel like there could have been more, like, climatic parts, probably.
Oh, I mean, this is more than on One of Us is a Killer, from what I remember. I'm pretty sure that entire album is just the stop, down.
Yeah.
Next song! You know?
Oh, I just remember what I was going to say now. Oh, one of the songs off Fireworks ended up on, like crime investigation show or some shit. I can't remember.
What?
Like CIS. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. Neat.
Yeah.
And
I would say Disassociation, their last album, had a lot of peak moments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
From what we've listened to of it, definitely. I need to go through the entire thing. But,
yeah, I mean, all their albums are badass, though.
Yeah. I would do a recommend, and this is... Would you would consider this one your favorite if you had... I mean, picking favorites is hard. If you can't pick one, that's fine. I can't pick favorite anythings, but...
I'd say if I was to recommend one album of this band to start with, it would be this one.
It has a lot to it.
Yeah.
You could go for a good while on just this one too.
Yeah.
Although you don't really need to do that anymore, because if you want to find it, you can just go to your favorite digital streaming service, and it's probably there.
It won't sound as good, but...
Yes.
Do your thing.
If you have the privilege and the desire, CD is probably most recommended. They probably still have some vinyl.
Yeah, either or. I mean, people hate on CD, but you do really hear the best quality.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure. Complete lossless and it sounds really nice.
Less likely to get it pops in there, some cracks and whistles.
You don't have to deal with iTunes normalization or Spotify compression
and you feel the difference, whether or not you do.
Well, you hear the dynamic contrast.
Yeah.
And I feel like I heard it on this really well.
You need to on something like this. Yeah. That's part of what makes them cool. There was an option paralysis.net for a bit, but I'm pretty sure that's down. We're going to the internet again. The artwork is pretty neat, but it's mostly just human anatomy with labels on it. Which isn't to say it's not interesting, but I'm not going to be able to describe it well because I don't have any knowledge of visual art. So, yeah, it looks like optionparalysis.net no longer exists, but there's still Party Smasher Incorporated and Dillinger Escape Plan.
Well, they went to Sumerian Records for One of Us is a Killer.
Oh, they did?
And Disassociation, so
I think Party Smasher still exists, though. Yeah, independent label. Oh, and it has the same kind of logo as the Dillinger Escape Plan with the bars.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. Yeah, it's still a thing then.
So yeah, Party Smasher Incorporated. Let's see. One of us is The Killer, which is the album after this.
Option Paralysis limited edition box set with a bunch of shit, but it's unavailable.
But I bet they have the actual album. Ooh, Dissociation.
Yeah, you can buy merch here.
Alright,
directly from their label.
Party Smasher still exists. Oh yeah, can you click on the Dillinger Escape Plan to see what that comes up with?
Just the stuff we already saw.
Oh, so they don't really have any.
They have an instrumental 7-inch.
Oh, that's tight. Can we get it?
That's cool.
We should buy it.
That would be cool.
But yeah, so I guess that's pretty much a good place to wrap it up, right?
Yeah, I guess we're good.
Alright, if you're looking for ways to support the podcast, you can listen to our music or download something from A Study in Expression. Then we got a Bandcamp, studyinexpression.bandcamp.com, Facebook, YouTube. I have music under Joseph Fisher.
I have music under my project called Note.
NOTE, like a musical note. And he just released a new single on our little label.
Yes.
Change the World. I played some bass on that, and it's mostly his.
Our buddy Michael played piano on it.
Oh yeah, Michael DeBellevue, who was on the first episode of this podcast. So, thanks for listening. Hopefully you like the record. If you have any recommendations of stuff you want us to listen to, send it our way. And